Good morning. It's Monday, May 6th. Here's what we're working on so far. A pro-Palestinian encampment has cropped up on the grounds of McMaster University.
Tough end for the Toronto Rock as the Buffalo Bandits beat them yesterday in the semifinals.
And a candy that sold at Walgreens has gone viral. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Emily Taylor. I'm in for Annette Hom this week.
Hello, Emily Taylor.
Yeah. Happy Monday.
Yeah. Weather window is looking nice and bright this morning, Brian. This is the brightest it's been. Because I guess like a couple minutes every day.
We gained that, and so sunrise this morning is 6:05. So in 4 minutes from now, sun will be up, and yay, it's going to be a sunny day. Look at you two matching. Did I miss the phone call? Did I miss the email? Like
you got the plaid. You didn't get the plaid email, huh? Okay. Sometimes it works out. A lot of the time it doesn't.
Good for you
Most of the time it doesn't. But time it works really well.
We're going to enjoy the sun today. Just a little bit of cloud cover, just a little bit like those puffy cumulus clouds floating by every now and then, but a lovely Monday. We should hit 20 degrees, which is where we got yesterday. We had a little rain shower activity yesterday morning, but not today. Looks like sun today, more sun tomorrow. Temperatures both days around 20 degrees. Then we'll get into some showers, and we'll talk about that coming up. I want to talk about traffic this morning. Not a lot to see, actually, which is really good this time of the morning. Doing fine here at the 403 and Waterdown Road. That looks good. That's one of our exclusive cameras. We have some MTO traffic cameras we can show you. Here's the QEW, the Red Hill Creek camera. So on this view, Toronto bound coming towards us around the bend from Centennial Parkway. Top of the Skyway, Toronto towards us here as well. And same thing for Appleby Line. It's pretty good this morning. We have no collisions. The fog advisory that was in effect for Niagara has come to an end. So visibility is improving there. We'll talk about weather and traffic coming up right now. Good news.
Thanks, Brian. The Israeli army has told Palestinians to begin evacuating eastern Rafah. An Israeli Defense Force statement issued this morning signals that a ground invasion is imminent. Over 1 million refugees have been told to move to an Israeli-declared humanitarian area near the coast. The army says it has expanded assistance into the area, including field hospitals, tents, food, and water. An Israeli radio broadcaster said this morning that the armed forces had begun the evacuation ahead of a threatened assault on the southern Gazan city. Yesterday, Israel closed its main crossing point for humanitarian aid into Gaza after an attack by Hamas militants, with Israel's defense minister warning of a powerful operation in the very near future.
All right, in other news in Israel, they're shutting down Al Jazeera's local news network. So Israeli police and officials, they were seen entering the network's broadcasting center at the Ambassador Hotel in Jerusalem yesterday. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said on social media that the Qatari-based network is biased towards Hamas and that its reporters harmed Israel's security. So the shutdown includes confiscating broadcast equipment and preventing correspondents from working. It is also removing the channel from cable and satellite platforms and blocking its website. Network leaders called the move a, quote, criminal act, one that would cover up the killings and arrests of journalists. The Foreign Press Association in Israel described the decision as, quote, a dark day for democracy and a cause for concern for all supporters of a free press. The Committee to Protect Journalists says this has been the deadliest conflict for journalists since they started collecting data back in 1992. As of May the 3rd, 97 journalists are confirmed dead. 25 have been arrested. 4 are missing.
Students at McMaster University have set up a pro-Palestinian encampment with demands focused around the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas. Simone Gavros joins us live from McMaster University's encampment with more. Good morning, Simone.
Hi, good morning, Emily. Well, you can see the encampment set up here behind me. This is just near the science building here at McMaster, and there are dozens of tents that are set up here. I've counted well over 10 that are here, and it's encased in this rope that's around here where the tents are set up. And the students here say that they're not going to be leaving until their demands are met from the university. Now, one professor was on campus here yesterday outlining those demands that the students are looking for.
We want disclosure of university investments in companies that contribute to Israeli military. We want divestment from these companies. We want an academic boycott of institutions that support the apartheid and genocide regime, and we want a declaration, affirmative declaration from the university supporting the Palestinians' rights.
Now, this is a look at what the setup looked like yesterday. Students could be seen setting up the encampment on campus yesterday afternoon. One of the groups organizing the protest posted on social media about the start of these demonstrations, urging everyone to support their demands. Now, similar protests have been happening at universities across the country, including U of T, University of Ottawa, British Columbia, as well as McGill in Montreal. McMaster said yesterday that the encampment is peaceful and activities and classes will continue as usual. The school's president also put out a statement saying that the university's role is not to constrain free thought, censor views, or adopt positions of one group or another. He goes on to say, quote, universities have a long history with protests, which, when peacefully done, reinforce and support our culture of freedom and of expression. McMaster is committed to an environment where this can be achieved within our code of conduct and without compromising the safety and security of students, faculty, and staff. So this morning we're going to be speaking to some of the student organizers to get their thoughts about what's happening here, about setting up this encampment that started here. We do know that there have been a number of other ones that have been setting up across the country as well as in the United States. And we're hoping to speak to them to get more about their demands of the university. But for now, I'll send things back to you, Tim.
Yeah, thanks, Simone. Let's continue with this story and take you to McGill, because the pro-Palestinian encampment there is stretching into a second week in Montreal. Both McGill and Quebec Premier François Legault have asked police to dismantle the tents, but protesters say they will not leave until the school agrees to divest funds from companies they say are supporting Israel's actions against Palestinians in Gaza. Activists have also set up tents at the University of Toronto, University of Ottawa, and UBC in Vancouver. They're all following a number of protest campuses across the United States.
Hamiltonians marked the annual Red Dress Day yesterday, honoring missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit peoples. Dozens of people dressed in red gathered at Gore Park yesterday and walked through the streets to Pier 4 near Bayfront Park. The origin of Red Dress Day dates back to 2010, when Métis artist Jamie Black initiated the Red Dress Project installation, where she hung red dresses to represent missing and murdered Indigenous people. The organizer says the National Day is all about remembrance and awareness.
At the end of the day, it stands for remembrance, that these people matter. They matter to our families, to our communities, and bringing them home or having their proper burial is an essential part of our grieving. And we deserve that right as humans. We're not just markers on a poster. We're real people, and we're here.
The House of Commons recently adopted a motion calling on the federal government to declare ongoing violence against Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit people a national emergency.
All right, let's get into sports line. Not a good weekend to be a sports fan around these parts. Ugh. Maple Leafs lost a heartbreaker in overtime to the Bruins on Saturday in Game 7. Yeah. News didn't get any better for the local lacrosse team, as they needed a win in Buffalo against the Bandits yesterday to force a third and final game in the semifinals.
Rock wanted to find a big win in Bandit land. This is about as much as they can handle. Fraser scores again.
Yeah, but the Bandits, in front of a rocking crowd, staged a 6-goal fourth-quarter comeback to take down the Toronto Rock 10-8 and eliminate the best team during the regular season and book a spot in the National Lacrosse League Finals. Buffalo will now face Albany, looking for back-to-back titles. The Rock had that wonderful season, but they could just not beat Buffalo, losing to them in all 4 of their games, including Friday night at First Ontario in the first game of the semis. Disappointing end to what the Rock had hoped to be a championship season.
And it is gone.
Hey, great start for the Blue Jays in the finale with the Nationals in Washington, as Vladdy Jr. smashed a grand slam in the second inning to put the Jays up 5-1. That was his 4th home run of the year. 5th career grand slam. All good, right? No. Alek Manoah, making his first start of the season, started well, did not finish well, allowing the Nationals to come all the way back. He allowed 7 runs, 6 earned in 4 innings. Bullpen no better. Jays lose a 4th straight series, 11-8 the final. They got a day off today before they face the best team in the league, Philadelphia, tomorrow.
Taylor Pendrith is a PGA Tour winner for the first time.
Hey, we do got some good news. Come on, here we go. Richmond Hill native Taylor Pendrith won his first ever PGA Tour event as he birded the final hole to win the CJ Cup. Byron Nelson yesterday from Dallas, the 32-year-old who has battled injuries this season and throughout his career, put it all together in his 74th PGA start. He is the 18th Canadian to win on tour, second this year behind Nick Taylor, who won the Phoenix Open back in February. Dundas native Mackenzie Hughes was there to celebrate as he went to school with Pendrith at Kent State. So show more of that. It's coming up next hour in Sportsline.
Vegas in the second. Here's Frank Smith back out for Foxa. Backhand shot. Score!
So we will have a new Stanley Cup champion come June. That's because the Dallas Stars used home ice to their advantage, scoring the game winner at the start of the third. Held on to beat the defending champs from Vegas. 2-1 the final in Game 7. Stars move on to the second round. They're going to face Colorado. Rangers beat Carolina 4-3. The opener of the second round from the Garden in New York.
Her effort stopped short, back to it, Nurse, and in front, Spooner, she scores!
Yeah, on the ice in Toronto, Hamilton Sarah Nurse set up Natalie Spooner for her PWHL leading 20th goal of the season. She turned out to be the winner for Toronto in the final game of the season. They head to the playoffs starting this week. They beat Ottawa 5-2. For Ottawa, they had to win in regulation to book a spot in the playoffs, but the loss allows Minnesota to sneak in. Hence, the first teams in the PWHL playoffs, Toronto, Montreal, Boston, and Minnesota. And finally, following the heels of the photo finish at the Kentucky Derby on Saturday, check out the finish in NASCAR yesterday at the Advent Health 400. Kyle Larson and Chris Buescher both crossed the finish line at the same time. Look at this. They needed a photo finish. Larson's number 5 car in the front crossed the line 1,000th of a second ahead of Buescher in the closest NASCAR finish in history. It was Larson's second win of the season.
All right, 6:12, sun is up, and we're going to enjoy it throughout the day today. It'll be in your eyes, so keep that in mind as you head in this morning, looking at the 403 and Waterdown Road. Still nothing has changed there. Looks pretty good at the moment. Pretty light volume all the way around, actually. To our MTO traffic cameras, and we'll start in St. Catharines. Look at that sunshine just peeking up there in the distance. No problems here east of Lake. Red Hill Creek still looks good. Here's Fairview, so Toronto-bound lanes towards us, coming toward Brant Street. Same here. Ford Plant looks good. Nothing going on at the QEW in Dixie. All doing fine around the Horseshoe right now. Take it carefully, please. Our temperature has just fallen a couple of degrees. We were 9 last hour. We're sitting at 7. Light winds, humidity comfortable, 67%. We have a partly cloudy sky right now. So today, a temperature of 20 degrees. So light winds, very high UV index. A mix of sun and clouds for the day today, but a lovely day for school, just beautiful. That ridge of high pressure is responsible, giving us the clear skies. Well, fairly clear, just a little bit of cloud cover, but no problems today. Tonight will be clear. Tomorrow's going to be sunny, and then that low pressure system crosses us on Wednesday, and that's what could bring us that shower activity, and that could last for a number of days. So enjoy the sun. 19 to 20 for Niagara, 20 this end of the lake, including the north shore of Lake Erie, 19 to 20 for the rest of the Horseshoe. Generally, it's going to be a mix of sun and clouds today. Tonight, skies will be clear. Temperatures 5, 6, and 7 degrees, a little cooler for Kitchener and Guelph. And those temperatures, a lot of them, are just a touch below seasonal now for this time of year. And then tomorrow, temperatures 22 to 20 for Niagara. Same here, this end of the lake, and a little cooler for Burlington, 17, 18, and 19 for Halton Peel, Toronto. So out the door on this 6th morning of May, we're looking at partly cloudy skies. Temperature right now sitting at 7. Long range coming up. Emily, Tim.
Thanks, Brian. Emily, I know you're doing that happy dance from all the sunshine he just showed us.
Always. Hotter the better. Let's bring on summer.
We were just saying it's not quite warm enough out there for us, but it's getting there, you know?
No, we were talking wardrobe and like it's not warm enough to wear like spring dress yet. You know, hence why I'm still in, dark.
Still in winter mode.
My wardrobe still says winter. Okay, coming up, you guys like candy, right?
Yes.
There is a viral candy trend that is like flying off the shelves in the United States. I don't think we can even get it in Canada, which makes me sad, but it's like a little mango and you peel it. It's intriguing. Our children would love it.
Okay.
Brian was cackling away over there.
So we don't have any to test?
No,
out.
but
Okay.
if we talk about it enough, maybe they'll send us some.
True. That's a
good idea. Yeah.
We love freebies.
We're also going to be talking about who just got the latest Walk of Fame star, and he actually sings the end song to one of my favorite movies of all time.
Okay.
Okay,
We'll see you at
good
the couch in a
tease.
little bit for Chit Chat. Coming up after the break.
Awesome. All right, good news if you're flying WestJet, but bad news if you like chocolate. We'll have business news and much more coming up for you after the break. 6:17 on your Monday morning. Thanks for joining us. Here's a look at the markets. The Canadian dollar is up 4 basis points this morning. It's at 73.11 cents U.S. Gold gained $17.50, while crude is up 76 cents. It's at $78.87 a barrel. In midday, European trading markets are closed in London, up in Frankfurt and in Paris.
Off to Asia we go. Markets are closed in Tokyo, but up in Hong Kong and Shanghai. North American markets finished up the trading week with some big gains, specifically on Wall Street. Dow Jones up 450, NASDAQ up 315. TSX hit a triple-digit gains too. Let's see how they do when the markets open this morning on this Monday, May the 6th.
All right, some more business news for you now. WestJet and its mechanics union have agreed to a tentative deal, grounding a potential strike of around 670 aircraft maintenance engineers and skilled trade groups. If both sides ratify the contract, it will be the first approved collective bargaining agreement between WestJet and the Aircraft Mechanics Fraternal Association. Terms of the deal had not yet been made public, but wages, outsourcing, scheduling, and layoff protection were all standout issues during negotiations. The agreement comes after the union issued a 72-hour strike notice over the weekend and warned passengers yesterday that they may want to make other travel plans.
About 460 workers at the Toronto Nestle plant have walked off the job. Unifor says its members, who work as machine operators, shippers, receivers, and others in skilled trades, chose to strike after the company did not budge on pension improvements. The union says Nestle and also proposed a 2-year freeze on a cost of living adjustment. The plant, they produce Kit Kat, Aero, Coffee Crisp, and Smarties, but Nestle says it does not expect the strike will have an immediate effect on availability. No bargaining dates are scheduled at this point.
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre's office is keeping tight-lipped about whether his party will vote in favor of changes to a capital gains taxation. As it stands now, only 50% of the profit from selling an asset like a stock or a house is taxed. That tax rate depends on the person's income. Now the Liberal government says they want to change that law so that 2/3 of any profit over $250,000 will be eligible. The Conservative Party says they're voting against the budget regardless, but they can't judge the tax policy because the legislation hasn't yet been written.
Well, advocates say a corporate watchdog meant to keep an eye on Canada's international businesses lacks bites and can't bark all that loud either. So 5 years ago, the Trudeau government replaced a monitor for the mining sector with what it called the Canadian Ombudsman for Responsible Enterprise. Since then, the office only launched its first investigations last summer and completed just one case in March. The watchdog says their work has been stifled because they can't compel documents and testimony. So the director of the advocacy group Above Ground says communities are suffering human rights abuses and environmental harms because of how some Canadian companies operate outside of Canada. And they want the role to be given more teeth.
All right, that's news for this half hour. We'll take a break, and Brian will be back with your traffic and a 7-day forecast.
Looking good today.
6:24 on this Monday morning. Sun is up, so let's get going into the day here. Welland, QEW at Welland looks good. So does that sunshine. Looks beautiful right there. Getting a little busier top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge. So Toronto bound heading away from us down to North Shore Boulevard, starting to bunch through there. Appleby line opens up quite nicely. A little slow here at the QEW at Lorne Park. Toronto bound lanes on this camera coming towards us. No problems at the 403 all the way through Mississauga. That's a Burnhamthorpe camera. So it looks good this morning. Temperature at the moment, Hamilton struggling a little bit compared to other areas. 7 Hamilton, but 9 Grimsby, Toronto into Mississauga. Seasonal temperatures now changing a bit. 17 now for the daytime high and 6 for the overnight low. So temperatures around seasonal to start the morning here. Those are our sun times and our records for today. So for school today, we should be around 13 degrees for the first bell and 20 for after school. That's the high for the day. Both, all the way through the day, a mix of sun and clouds. So that's how it looks for today. 20 degrees, 6 overnight tonight, seasonal. Skies will be clear. Tomorrow, again, 20 degrees, but beautiful sunshine. Nice blue sky tomorrow. Chance of showers as we get toward midweek. It's only 40% on Wednesday, but temperatures go up to 22. A little cooler on Thursday. There's that gray day with chance of showers. And then it's just a slim chance of a shower as we go through Friday, Saturday, and of course Sunday for Mother's Day. That's your forecast. Emily, Tim.
Okay, thanks, Brian. So Olympics is coming up in a couple months. Mm-hmm. But some in France, because the Olympics are in Paris, are already setting records, Emily.
I'm so excited about this story. Yesterday, French bakers cooked the world's longest baguette. The 140-meter monstrosity reclaimed the top spot from Italian bakers who took the trophy 5 years ago. The bakers say they started kneading and shaping the dough around 3 a.m. yesterday before putting it in a specially built slow-moving oven on wheels. According to strict French regulations, the traditional baguette must be around 60 centimeters long and can only be made using wheat, flour, water, salt, and yeast. This looks incredible.
Yes.
I'm so proud of them. I love a good baguette.
Okay, so do you like it warm?
Oh, yeah.
Or do you heat it up? What are you putting on there?
Butter. Or alternatively, olive oil. I love, you get a good olive oil, throw some chunky salt in there, and then just scoop that up.
Little balsamic perhaps
you can do that as
too.
well.
Little dip in there. Like you want it crusty? You're down for that, Brian?
Yeah, I'm very flexible, but even just like regular olive oil and a good baguette.
Here's the thing. I love a good baguette,
that.
but it needs to be fresh.
Really? Okay.
A day-old baguette is not the same.
I'm not picky.
Really?
No, if I can reheat it, I'm fine.
You'll do day-old?
I will do a day-old baguette, absolutely.
Good to know.
Yep.
Good to know. Okay. Oh, man, I should have had a baguette pun right there.
Oh, you didn't have any bread puns ready?
I guess it happens when you least expect it.
There's your bread pun for the day. More coming up. Stay with us.